I'm pretty excited, to be honest. You guys excited?
Mm. Can't wait to be disappointed, but it's fine.
You just won the Champions League. How can you be disappointed? You
Well,
gotta be
it's
you gotta
strong.
be excited about this season, surely.
What teams are strengthening? We haven't done anything just yet. Well,
You
not
got
I say just yet. Like it's currently ongoing. Obviously,
all right.
Big
Yeah,
Rom inbound.
we'll get into that. We'll get into that. I mean, the first thing, obviously, we should talk about is a transfer window because obviously that's the big news over the summer. We got the big six making some teams making more movements than others. Man City breaking the transfer record for the Premier League. A lot of crazy moves. Since obviously we've got Jake sitting there in his Chelsea top. I don't know if other people can't see that, but he's sitting there in his Chelsea top with his two little stars for the Champions League. So we'll start with Chelsea then.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel about their transfer window?
Well, again, like it's been very quiet. Obviously, bearing in mind last summer we literally came storming out the gates, and like by this time we spent about 200 mil. And like
you got like
literally like
you got like a whole new team basically.
literally like Kai Havertz was like just here we go confirmed sort of thing like that. But like we've got rid of some not really dead weight, but like players we don't really want or the club don't want. Like Giroud's gone. That was actually quite upsetting, frankly. I think he's been. I think he's such an underrated player at Chelsea, and I think just an underrated striker in the Premier League in general. Like, just fantastic player.
I feel like I feel like at times when you guys were when Werner wasn't scoring, and you were struggling for goals, you could always look to Giroud on the bench, and it was always like that. He's always been like that at Arsenal and at Chelsea. So I feel like I wouldn't have let him go, to be honest, but.
He's such a clutch player, but like when he started, he just caused problems, and then obviously Fikayo Tomori went earlier in the transfer window because obviously he went to Milan on loan, didn't he? That hurt because I think when obviously last year with Frank Lampard just started, obviously quite important player and was doing really well, and I think somehow he just fell out of favour. I don't really see why, but good luck to him in Milan. Obviously. They like him there. They played him more than obviously we wanted to play him. And about 30 million pounds, I think, or 25, something like that. Not bad, really, for someone coming through the ranks. And then another young player, Mark Guehi, went to Crystal Palace after coming back.
I don't know. Is that one of your youth players?
Yeah, he was on the fringes. He went on loan last season at Swansea, I think. And and basically he went to Palace on the permanent. And the other one I got written down is quite important. Billy Gilmour on loan to Norwich.
Billy Gilmour, yes, I like him. I like the look of him.
The Scottish Shabby, I think he's called, or Scottish Pedo, something like that. It was something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And literally, like the only person we bought him really is some like Fulham goalkeeping reject to like be back up to Kepa and Mendy in Bettinelli, I think it is. But then obviously we got Big Ron coming in. Medicals, from what I gather from my good mate Fabrizio,
your close personal friend, yeah.
He lets me see all his Instagram stories, isn't it? Obviously medical's nearly done, and then I think we're focusing on Koundé afterwards.
Yeah,
that's still dragging on.
Yeah, but you're trying to get Lukaku out of the way first, obviously.
Yeah, I think that's the best. That's the big one. I think that's the area that we needed to strengthen on mainly. More importantly, because Werner's very hit and miss. And obviously we've been searching for ages for a world class striker.
Yeah. You guys have struggled for a while because when was the last? What, Diego Costa? That was the last really good striker you had, and then after that. You've had like Higuain. You've had Morata.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on Higuain.
Legitimately.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think over the years, actually, for Chelsea, if you think about Drogba being their most successful striker and how good he was at holding up play, and they lost that kind of man. Not quite a pure target man because you just don't want him for the year, but Drogba was pretty much as strong as any other defender in the league. And could hold his own, hold the ball up, get everybody else involved with play. Lampard,
like
pressing. Joe Cole's out there.
Yeah,
But
like
yeah,
on his day, peak Didier Drogba, like 2005, 2009, he was unplayable.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
yeah,
Like
100% world
absolute
class. Like
monster.
Legit.
And literally, like you think about all these big game players. Like for me, he is ultimate big game player. Like
100% big game
his
player.
Yeah, he
records.
scores the important goals in the important
That
games.
header,
100%.
I'll never forget that header.
when we needed him in Munich,
You
steps
can
up,
always look to
crashes one in the corner, and then buries the winning penalty as well. Oh, what a moment! But yeah, so.
Yeah, right. I think Tammy was there for a bit because he's just so naturally
Yeah.
tall. They kind of used him in that mold, but it didn't last. Like
No.
he had that great spark of form, couldn't sustain it.
He did.
Yeah,
But then when you think that now they want Lukaku again, because obviously in the middle, like Werner is the complete opposite. Like no strength whatsoever, great pace. Obviously has issues with the offside trap, and VAR isn't his best friend. But I think if you consider Lukaku in with somebody like that, because Lukaku has similar people with like Lautaro Martinez at Inter. Like it's easier for me because I watch Milan games. I'm actually a Milan fan.
Yeah.
But like Liverpool would be my English team. So for me, it's great. Chelsea have given us Giroud and Tomori, and they've taken Lukaku from Inter. So it's like, yes, brother Roman, Abramovich. Thank you, brother. Take all their players. They lost Hakimi to PSG, and Martinez was apparently linked with Tottenham. So it makes sense when you think about like Chelsea's history. They've got, I think they can work in different styles of like attack-minded formations with different strikers, but some teams are just known for having specific kinds of strikers.
Yeah.
And I think Chelsea definitely needs to have a strong guy up front.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. It works with their style of play, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So he brought it to like Tammy Abraham. Like I liked him. He started really well, but my issue I have with him was like half through like the season before, like he was on like what 10, 12 goals, and then it just dried up, and he struggled, and it was like, how is he still justifying his place in the team when literally he takes about 5 shots a game and hits gets relative about within an inch of the goal like once. Like it's difficult to justify that when you've got like a world class striker in Giroud. I say world class, but like a lot more experienced in the Premier League.
He's a top class. I'd put him top class striker.
Maybe I wouldn't say he's world class,
but top class definitely.
Yeah. So if we got someone like that, I think that's why Frank Lampard put Giroud on a bit more like after lockdown, was like because his form dropped. Like obviously we had Christian Pulisic just picking up outstanding form after lockdown.
Yeah,
and Giroud complemented that, and again, like same with Pulisic again, the end of this season, picked up a lot more form. But I think a lot of our players that we brought in picked up a lot of form at the end of the season. Kai Havertz was absolutely outstanding.
Oh yeah, he was, and he started off so a bit shaky, doesn't he? It was kind of a really slow start. At times, it felt like he wasn't on the pitch, you know, but he really, really like picked up form towards the end of the season, especially that Champions League game as well, the final.
Oh yeah,
he was brilliant in that.
I think that was his breakthrough moment. Because I remember I said to you, Raheem, literally after the first game against Brighton, you went, "Oh, what do you think of Havertz?" I can't stand him. He's lazy.
Yeah,
I don't like him.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
And you're like, you can't say that, man. He's like, I was like, yeah, but like, I can't help what I see. Literally, just like lugging around the pitch. Like he came off. I was like, oh, was he playing? I can't remember. Like he just didn't do it.
Yeah, some people do tend to fall or turn invisible.
But it takes time sometimes as well for people to get used to the Premier League, and you know, some people like hit the ground running, and some people need some time to sort of gel and sort of get that feeling of what the Premier League's like, because it is very different to any other league. Yeah,
and I feel like if you buy like as Chelsea like about 7 first team players, basically you're making a brand new team. Like at the same point, years like 2014, I think QPR basically like spanked so much money on like a brand new starting 11, and they ended up getting relegated. Then he started winning games like towards the end of the season when it was done. Like it takes that long to gel an entire new team together.
Yeah,
and it's like
it is risky doing it that way. I think definitely, but you're seeing the fruits of that now, because obviously Tuchel's come in and he's utilizing those players a lot better.
Yeah.
And
Tommy
Tommy T. What about his style of play? How do you feel about his style of play?
The thing that I was thinking about this earlier today, and like for a couple of weeks, literally like when I've been watching him, it reminds me of him himself as a coach, and the way we play. It reminds me a lot of how we played under Antonio Conte. I think I see like I think from Abramovich era, I think Conte is one of my favourite coaches for Chelsea. I loved his passion, and literally like absolute like he literally would cut when we score a goal, we cut to him celebrating. He like dive in the crowd and something like and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like you want to see that in your manager.
Yeah, you love to see that.
Like you see that, and fans want to see that. You see like a manager passionate about your club and who wants to wants to succeed. And I think while Thomas Tuchel doesn't yeet himself into the crowd, I mean, because there's no crowd there at the moment.
No.
But like he has that passion. Like you see it when when we win a game or something like that. Like you see the passion and the way he sets the team up as well with the wing back system. That was Conte.
Yeah, Conte was the one.
That was Conte. Conte brought it to the Premier League, and he took the Premier League by storm because we absolutely trounced the Premier League that season.
You did,
as soon as we switched to the back three and the wing backs, literally you couldn't beat us, apart from when Arsenal turn up for some reason. But I think obviously he's getting the players that he wants to get. Obviously, because like he's saying after our preseason game against Spurs, he's saying like, I really want someone like Lukaku, someone who's big and strong, can hold the ball up. Like another Didier sort of thing, but like obviously Lukaku's a bit more hench than Drogba, really, like absolute bit of a tank. But
he's a
again,
goal machine. He is got Lukaku.
But like I like Lukaku because like he's gonna bring the hold up play, but also the pace we've got on the wings, like with Pulisic and like Havertz can play there, Werner can play there, Ziyech can play there, Mason Mount even. But even if you have Mason Mount sitting in front, it's like Lukaku in front of Mason Mount making them runs in behind. It's like it's possible. Like I got really excited last season when we signed these players, and then it just really fell apart. And then we had to get Tom in to save us because I think we were in a bit of a free fall. And I think I'd have been very surprised if Lampard survived for that season. Obviously, he didn't, and I don't think we'd have won the I don't think we'd have won the Champions League or got to the FA Cup final if Lampard stayed that whole season. I think he was doing really well, but I think it just didn't. Obviously, the first season we had Frank Lampard, transfer ban, we couldn't really buy anyone. So you kind of like it's kind of like a bit of a test of the water sort of thing, because obviously with Chelsea managers we're quite infamous for hiring and firing, spending
are you
throwing
really?
cash. Yeah, do you not know? Like 18 managers, 17 years.
Yeah, 17
also,
years.
But also like about 20 odd trophies. So the system works, doesn't it? Really, But like,
they are well known for that. That is what they say. It's you guys and PSG. Those two clubs, Chelsea and PSG, will get rid of their managers.
Yeah, Chelsea's
like
manager
that.
seat
Like
definitely
that.
the hottest in the Prem.
Smoking.
Probably only Madrid, I'd say, is hotter when you consider like European context. But yeah, as far as the Prem goes, Abramovich doesn't give you second chances. Like
he's ruthless, absolutely ruthless.
Yeah, you get one chance, that's it.
Abramovich would look at the soul of Alex Ferguson and be like, "You lost twice in a row. Yo, Roberto Di Matteo, come back. Get me another one of them European Cup things."
The one with the big ears, that one. I want that one.
Yeah, for sure. I think like I guess it's a weird one though, because you look at like Chelsea's success. And obviously, they were the first like big money club, like oil money club that I really remember. Right? Changing of the guard.
It's still going, man.
But
it is.
I mean, it is definitely still going. But their success, maybe because of that like hot seat situation. Think about City had more domestic success, but they stayed with a few managers for a while.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, you nail down the league aspect, or you try and get better at it. But some managers are just much better in cup scenarios.
Oh yeah.
Like Ancelotti. Like Ancelotti, I think is probably the best cup specialist out there. At least top 3, like actively, because that dude barely won any Serie A titles when he was in Italy, but he won 2 Champions League and got to a 3rd final, like crazy.
I think it's like a manager. Once you have that winning mentality, once like a team or a manager's won something, you kind of have it. You kind of want more, but also you know how to do it.
Oh yeah,
that's what I find with teams like with Tottenham, when they think they can win a title, they don't have any winners in that squad. That's their issue. Their manager, they had a winning manager in Mourinho, but if your players aren't winners, it's all well and good saying, "Oh, I want to win things," but if you haven't won something, you don't really know where to go from there.
Yeah, I think when a team wins their first trophy together, I think it really does change. It changes the squad, doesn't it?
It's sort of like a bonding sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
I think obviously, like with this, like going back to Chelsea, with this quite a young squad we've got now, they've won the Champions League now. Yeah. So they think that like we can win titles now. We can win it. We can win things, and it's that belief you got as well. I think it's like I said, it's all well and good saying, "Oh yeah, I want to win the Champions League. I want to win the Premier League," but also you got to believe you can. I don't think like players in Arsenal or in Spurs who haven't won something for a long time that have that belief that, oh yeah, we can win this. We've got a team to win this.
Yeah.
They say that to the press, but I don't think they're telling the truth.
I guess it's like they believe it, but your belief has got to be backed up.
Yeah,
exactly.
Actually
being able to be disciplined, execute properly, and actually achieve stuff. Obviously, everybody wants to win, but
of course. But that's when they say it. That's them
that's an
wanting
abstract
to win.
idea.
It's not.
It's just an idea because obviously nobody goes down like, I want to lose. Of course you want to win, but some people know how to win better than other people. That's my favorite thing. Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's like success or I think specifically, especially in sports, witnessing success pulls you forward.
Yeah.
You'll learn more from your losses, but that's just on how to stem losses in a sport where you can have draws. But that's not going to do enough to push you over the finishing line. Like, you've got to witness people doing something, and it's hard with football because it's like you only have that one team.
Yeah.
It's not like witnessing your local rivals or neighbors and stuff winning stuff is going to help you along. But yeah, bringing winning mentalities into that. Like, Zidane in Madrid is obviously a perfect example, but obviously your Ronaldo's and your big players.
Oh, yeah, you need big players to turn up.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, I think definitely bringing winners in. It's a certain mentality. Bringing winners into a team when you especially if you got a young squad. If you can bring in some older, like experienced players that have won stuff, it makes a massive difference. And the young players will sort of feed off those older players. Those older players, like
absolutely.
They've got over the line. Probably maybe multiple times. So they know.
Yeah.
They know exactly how to tackle those games. You can tackle those games. You have to tackle those games differently as well. The finals, semi-finals. Tackling your nerves.
Well, yeah. Talking about signing big experienced players, let's move on to Man United, I guess.
Man United, my team, my guys.
They done it. They done the deal.
Well, they took 2 years, but they finally got Sancho. It felt
it's like that meme, that Titanic meme. It's been 84 years.
It felt like 84 years. I can't lie. And at one point, I didn't even think we was going to get him. To be honest, after last season, after last summer, I thought we had messed it up. To be honest, I didn't think he was going to want to come to us. But but it looks like we obviously kept that relationship open. We kept that door open. And so,
well, if he really was as close as everyone was saying, I was like, I don't really see my issue. Like what I was saying to you last time about it is like it's all well and good saying, oh yeah, we'll give you a 5-year contract, we'll give you some amount of money, but a deal with the club's got to be done first, sort of thing. Yeah. And I feel like I'm due a refund from Dortmund because I bought a Jadon Sancho shirt last year to wind you up, and I didn't get to utilize it. I didn't get to utilize it because this damn pandemic.
That is your own fault. Yeah, no, I think obviously we've signed what I hope and what I think will be a top quality player for United for years to come. I mean, one of the big problems for United for the last, I don't know how many years, is that we haven't had a proper right winger. Like we never fully replaced Ronaldo. Ronaldo left.
No.
And we've been using makeshifts in that spot for however many seasons. So we're always very weak on that right hand side.
Yeah.
And a lot of the play that we do, a lot of the attack, a lot of the the actual play comes through that left hand side now, with Luke Shaw and Rashford, Martial. So we're always very left side heavy, but it would be good to have a balance. We got a couple of seasons ago, we got Aaron Wan-Bissaka in. He's not the best going forward. He's still sort of working on that attacking play, but he's getting better. But having Wan-Bissaka, come over the last two seasons getting better, and then having Sancho as well, I'm hoping we can have a more balanced sort of progression of the ball going forward. They can't just mark one side or the other. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it's good to have a balance though, because you got Wan-Bissaka who's very defensive fullback, and you got Luke Shaw who literally is a monster.
Yeah,
like I didn't rate him a couple of years ago, but I watched him in the Euros, and this season I thought fantastic player.
He's had an amazing
so good.
I wrote him off after his leg injury, so I was like, yeah, this guy's done.
Yeah,
it was a really bad break. It was a really bad leg break.
Like, I'm not making it up. He was rubbish for a few years. Like,
he was
massively underwhelming. Not because of his own fault. Like his body was giving up on him, and I'm not going to blame an athlete for that. But it's like okay, you ain't producing the results we know you're capable of, because when he first came, well, he came for good reason. He was sick.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, he
really
was like a hot prospect when he came.
Yeah,
like
so much
it
talent.
was a big money move as well at the time.
Yeah,
but obviously the leg break came, and then I think also having Jose, Jose didn't rate him at all, and that didn't help. He
like Jose broke
criticized him.
Jose mentally broke him.
Yeah,
definitely. But I think it says a lot. It says a lot about him that he's maybe able to come back for that. And honestly,
100%.
I think he was one of the best players in the England squad in the Euros. And I think he was the best left back in the Premier League last season.
I think it's fair to say that Luke Shaw was the best player for England at the Euros, like pretty much flat out. I think he did more to help the team going forward and back, especially for long parts along lots of the games. He was basically just doing it himself as well. Like Sterling would run out with the ball, and Sterling's like, "Yeah, I'm not tracking back. Like, sorry, I've only got a 25 yard, marking in which I can stand. Otherwise, Southgate's gonna whip me." But
he's like, mate, I've got goals to score, Luke, man. Get back.
Yeah. Luke said, like, Raheem, it's literally 3 feet. Sorry, man. Like, it's the wrong direction. Like, look, do you not see the line?
That's not my goal.
Line here. That floor, that grass is lava. You gotta understand. Like, I can't go there.
It's like, bro, that's not my goal. That's our goal. That's not their goal, man. I don't want to go. I don't want to go to our goal. What are you doing? What do you make him try and do?
I think it's been good. It's actually been good for people to see this, because I mean, for me, obviously watching United every game, I think Luke Shaw has been getting better over the last couple of seasons, but I think it's been under the radar.
Oh yeah.
And then obviously, last season, he went up another level, and then, it was just immediately apparent. And then the Euros as well. And, you couldn't really ignore it. But,
no.
It's our back four is an exciting back four in terms of, like, it should be a very good defensive back four that can go forward as well. But, Luke Shaw, Maguire, Varane coming in, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Raheem's giving us the old stanky eye.
He's gone robotic. Oh no. It's all gone wrong.
Can you guys hear me?
There you go.
Yeah,
back.
There we go.
You have returned.
There we go. I have returned.
He got done.
All I had to do was mention our back four, and the internet couldn't handle it. They're scared. No, but for real, like Luke Shaw.
The solidity.
Trust me.
The solidity, I can't take it.
It's a solid back four, but I will say that it's very defensive. Defensively, it's like ridiculously watertight.
Yeah.
Because Shaw can defend. Maguire is a god in the air, pretty much.
Aerial.
Yeah, Varane's the same, but he's so much better with his positioning as well, which hopefully make up for Maguire's lack of a turning circle. Dude's like a bloody 18-wheeler truck. And then Wan-Bissaka, kind of uncomfortable with the ball at his feet sometimes. Like, he'll look down and it just looks like spaghetti, but he's the best tackler in the Prem. Like, and it's not
sometimes,
even close.
Sometimes
so it's like United may not do much with those guys, but definitely. In theory, they shouldn't cost them any games.
No. Well, I mean, I think obviously Luke Shaw will go forward with the ball, but Maguire is good at bringing the ball out, and from how I understand it, Varane is too. So you might just see, one of those players always kind of pushing up with the ball, and I'm hoping we don't play two holding midfielders now that we got Varane. Last season when we were playing McFred, McTominay and Fred every game, and that used to frustrate the hell out of me because it was so defensive. And the two of them, although they can do the whole tackle, they're good at doing tackling and breaking up play and whatnot. Passing the ball, they're not always the best at passing the ball, and you want to be able to get the ball from the back to the the guys at the front, Bruno and Cavani and all of those guys, Pogba. You want to get the ball up to them, and we would lose the midfield battle a lot, I think, because we're playing both McTominay and Fred, who aren't the best passers in my opinion. So for me, we need to play one of those two, and not both of them. And reason we played both of them, I think, was to protect Maguire and Lindelof, because together they just weren't a good pairing.
Yeah.
You know, individually, I don't think they're bad centre backs, either of them. Obviously, well, I rate Maguire a lot. Lindelof has his shortcomings, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's a bad centre back. But together, they just don't complement each other. So you know, you had to play the two holding midfielders to protect them, and you know that killed some of the creativity. But I'm hoping with Varane there, now you don't have to babysit the two of them. You put one either of McTominay or Fred on, and then you have, you know, Bruno and Pogba. That's the hope. And then you got Donny as well that can come in and play as well. You know, we in our Donny van der Beek, the guy that spent most of the season on the bench. You probably haven't heard of him because he didn't play much. But he's a quality player.
He looks like me, innit?
Does he?
Plot twist, it's actually me. I'm Donny van der Beek.
Oh, well, I hope we can get you on the pitch, man. Honestly.
No, don't. I suck.
I rate Donny van der Beek, but you know, I don't know what it was. I don't know whether it was, you know, Ollie not rating him or just the fact that we couldn't remove McFred off the pitch, you know, because of the whole protecting. But
no, I'm 100% convinced that Donny van der Beek was signed just to shut the fans up without Sancho. Because you were not signing anyone, and you were just going. But
that's what I think Cavani was about as well.
You were just going for Sancho, and like, it's not happening. You're like, yes, it will. It's like trying to push a massive boulder down a cliff. It's not happening. But you're like, I'm gonna do it, and it's like, but and then it just seems like Ollie didn't want him. It was a club decision to sign him.
I think
not Ollie's decision. That's not an Ollie player.
No, I think Ollie wanted Jack Grealish. I think we were linked massively with Jack Grealish, and it was the talk was that, you know, Ollie was, you know, he absolutely loves Jack Grealish and he wants him at the club. And if Villa went down, I think we would have got him. But the moment they stayed up, his price was too much, and so we went for Donny van der Beek. You know.
Yeah.
So I think that was the club rather than Ollie. But you know, this summer he's been working really hard. He's actually put on like a lot of muscle. Like he's gone to like nutritionists and whatnot, and he's asked them to put a plan together for him to get like to put on some muscle mass. Yeah. You know, to be more physical in the Premier League, because you know it is a physical league, and so he's like put on muscle, you know, and he's worked really hard. And apparently everyone is really impressed with what he's doing at the moment. He played in the preseason game against Everton. Was it on the weekend just gone? And he was really good Sunday, in that game. Yeah, he was really good in that game. And he played in the preseason match before that where he came off the bench, but he was captain when he came off the bench. So these are all like positive things that make me think, okay, maybe he's going to get some more game time this season, and I hope he does, because he is a good player. It's just about Ollie utilising the squad better, which I don't think he's that good at doing sometimes.
It's just where to fit him, because I feel Donny van der Beek is exactly the same as Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba. Like that, you got three players in the exact same position.
I disagree with that, because I think Bruno plays really high up the pitch, and he's like the number 10, isn't he? And I think Pogba. Well, I prefer where Pogba to play. I prefer him to play where he plays for France, which is next to Kante in sort of the central midfield area. I think that's good, because
you ain't got Kante.
No, we don't have Kante. No, which is peak. But
I mean, you can have Pogba. You give us Pogba, and we still keep Kante. That's fair, I think.
That doesn't sound like a good deal, no. But if you want to give us Kante, we'll take that. But we need someone to free up Pogba, basically. And Kante is like two players, you know, so he's unreal to have next to you. So we need someone that can do that. But I think, you know, Fred, in my opinion, Fred is the most. I'm not saying he's Kante, but he's the most similar to Kante that we have, in terms of he gets around the pitch and he's at your ankles all the time trying to steal the ball from you. You know, his passing is not as good as Kante, and you know, all the rest of it. But he's tenacious, and he's you know, he's always tackling. So I would say playing with Fred, and then, you know, gives him a bit more freedom to, you know, go up and whatnot. And like I said before, we've got Varane and Maguire back there now, so hopefully it's not the end of the world if we misplace a pass or whatnot. But you know, passing the ball to Pogba should then be able to get that ball further up the pitch. You know, last season we were shoehorning Pogba into the left wing to try and get him in the team. You've
actually shoehorned Pogba like the moment you signed him. He's like, where does he fit this?
We had a few we had a few instances when we put him in the right position. You know, there was a time when Matic and Pogba played together, and that was when Matic still had some legs in him, and that worked really well. And there was a time even before that when we played Herrera and Pogba together, which worked. But you know, those were short-lived. Those times.
It's criminal you let Ander Herrera go for nothing.
Mate,
That's a disgusting decision.
That is a whole different that.
That's a different episode.
That is a whole different episode. Trust me.
Raheem, you know we went to that game in Cardiff.
Yes, yeah.
We were heading there, and I don't keep up with United news, even though my brother does.
Yeah.
And I'm like, telling Raheem, I'm gonna be so excited. Like Herrera's playing. That dude's amazing. You were like, now we got rid of him. I just was like, man, who the hell? Ed Woodward, where you at? I need to slap this dude.
The worst part is we let him go for free as well. Like, what the hell?
Criminal.
Honestly, like I wouldn't even let him go anyway, but to let him go for free, what are you doing? And the thing is, he wanted to stay. He wanted to stay, and we messed about. And I think eventually, how I understand it, eventually we did offer him a contract, but by then he had already decided to move to PSG. But we should have got this wrapped up ages ago. He was happy to stay at the club. So yeah,
I think
that's a whole different thing.
For me, I think Man United are about 2 or 3 pieces away from being there, and I feel like you need a world-class striker, because let's be honest, Cavani's not going to be around forever, and who have you really got as a backup? Martial.
Well, to be fair, I think, it just depends on what Mason Greenwood's progression is like, because Mason Greenwood is an amazing player, and it's just whether or not he would be ready to take on, the being our main striker next season after Cavani's left. And I don't know yet, but he undoubtedly is a massively talented player.
Yeah.
And, we are in terms of our transfer window, I think if you ask different United fans, they'll tell you different things about whether they're happy or not with this transfer window. No one can be unhappy with it. No one can be unhappy with it, because we've got in Varane and Sancho, and those are 2 arguably world-class players. So you can't be upset with the transfer window.
Yeah.
But we're still, I think you'll find that there'll still be a lot of United fans that are still slightly critical, because when we went into this transfer window, our priority was, if you ask most people, they would say CDM is the priority, then centre back, then right winger. Now, arguably, you have to take into the fact who the players are. Obviously, Sancho and Varane are those opportunities that don't come around every day. So you have to get those players. You can't let them go somewhere else when, you've got an opportunity to get Varane and Sancho. Whereas the CDM doesn't necessarily matter who, there's no world-class CDM about that, there's an opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity to get. So you have to take that into account. But at the same time, a CDM would allow us to get the most out of Pogba, and it would allow the centre backs to be able to relax a bit more, and we would just be able to progress the ball up the pitch more. We lose the midfield battle way too much, in my opinion, and I think that's because we don't have a proper CDM. McTominay and Fred are not CDMs.
Yeah, I think you also need. Yeah, I think the CDM's not as important a position than the right wing, because, like you said, you never really replaced Ronaldo, and he went 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And you just be going, can you play right winger? We'll try you on right winger. Oh, it's not worked. Yeah. Okay, let's buy someone else. You can play right wing, can't you? No, I don't. I play centre back. Okay, you're going to play right wing today. And then I also think you need a reliable goalkeeper, because as much as I think David De Gea is world class, and I think T. Henderson's got some fantastic potential, they make mistakes, high profile mistakes, and a bit too frequently. I'm not saying every game, but every now and again, he'd have a really good spell, and then he'd ruin it, but for a couple of games, by just being basically as useful as a fucking mop standing in the goal. It's literally that.
Shatters his confidence. His howlers absolutely shatter his confidence, and he has to build it back up again. And you're exactly. At a professional level, you can't afford him to have his confidence shattered. I mean, you can afford to have it shattered before the League Cup third round game, whacking a sub, whacking a reserve, or whacking a couple of mops, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But when it gets to high stake games and stuff, you're like, is this gonna be where it crumbles?
Yeah.
Especially when you're well, we haven't played the backup as much, so can't really rely on them.
I mean, I think De Gea last season was, back to a very good quality. You know, the 2 seasons before that, he was definitely shaky. We were worried. And then, like, you know, if you'd asked me not last season but the season before, when that season ended and Dean Henderson was coming back from Sheffield United loan, a lot of United fans, including me, was probably like, look, we should just give Dean a chance because De Gea is not the one. But last season, you know, he was very solid. Like he was very. I know, you know, everyone might not necessarily know because I don't watch United games every game, but last season De Gea definitely was very solid. And you know, Dean played some games as well, and I think he was good too. But he had arguably a couple of shaky moments. Whereas I think De Gea, you know, there was a game against it was Roma in the semi-finals of the Europa League, and the first leg against Roma, we beat them like. I'm trying to remember. I think it was like 4-1 or like 4-2 or like 5-2. Yeah, something along those lines. But we were clear. Yeah. And we went into the second leg, right? And you're thinking this is just going to be, you know, one of those games where you're just playing, you know, maybe we might score a goal, maybe they will. But at the end of the day, you know, in my mind, we're already through. And we were awful. Like, we were awful. And I'm not going to lie, like, Cavani scored right at the beginning. And I think he scored 2 goals that game. So I think he scored at the beginning and at the end of the game. But if it wasn't for Cavani's 2 goals and De Gea making some unbelievable saves, like back-to-back saves, I'm not joking, we actually would have gone out. Like, it would have been an upset because we conceded like 3 goals, I think, in that game. And we should have conceded more. Like, De Gea pulled off some mad saves that game, like ridiculous. Like, we were through to the next round 100% because of De Gea and Cavani. And I don't know what happened that game, but we were awful. And so De Gea, you know, pulling it out of the bag in the big game there. Obviously, in the final, he missed a penalty, and that's not his fault. You know, I don't blame him for that. You know, that is what it is. You know, we went around the whole team, and it went to the goalkeepers, and you know. Arguably, Dean Henderson probably would have been the better player to take the penalty and save the penalties. But you know, at the end of the day, when you get to penalties and it goes around to the goalkeeper, it's just a, you know, almost a flip of the coin.
Penalties are the worst way. Penalties are the worst way to lose. Like, I'd rather even England in the final, I'd rather them lose 2-1 to Italy than on penalties. Like, it just seems.
I mean, that England final to me just felt like the Europa League game. You know, like Gareth Southgate and Ollie both seemed like they were playing for penalties. And, you know, like that is frustrating to watch. Obviously, you would rather lose in the 90. But you know, I think you know, arguably we've had a good transfer window. We still got time to get a CDM. Whether or not we'll get a CDM, I don't know. If we don't get one, it's not a bad transfer window. But you know, it will feel like we're just one step short of like the perfect transfer window. One step short of crossing the line per se, getting everyone we needed. In my opinion, but you know, that's United.
Yeah. Do we nip over to the other part of Manchester now with City?
With City, oh gosh,
£100 million
with Grealish.
£100 million for a bench warmer. Love it.
You mean they've got if they're paying £100 million, he's got to be a starter?
No, I don't see it because I think they basically bought the English Kevin De Bruyne, basically. Like,
this is the question: where do you think Grealish will actually play? Because obviously, apart from on the bench, when he comes on the pitch, because obviously for Aston Villa, he played. You know, I think at points he played as a cam, and I think that's where he started off as a cam for them. But last season he played a lot of his games on the wing, and for England he played a lot of his games on the wing. So you know, they had their game against Leicester, the Community Shield, and I watched a bit of it, and it looked to me like he was once again playing on the wing. So will he will he be playing as a winger, or will he be like a De Bruyne style, you know, replacement, or you know, to play in a cam kind of role?
Depends on what sort of style Pep wants to play in, really, and what formation he wants to use. Because if he wants to, I feel like someone like Jack Grealish, who's similar to Kevin De Bruyne, who's also similar to Mason Mount, you stick him on the wing, you kind of shoehorn them a little bit. You kind of like when they're more effective and more creative in the middle, and they can draw players in for and leaving space for the wide men. But also, I can also kind of see the appeal of playing someone like that on the wing because they can just drive into the centre. And then you basically you've got like a fullback and a centre back going, oh, blooming hell, this guy's driving at us, which then frees up more space, and them little balls into the box to the strikers that feed deliciously off of them, sort of thing.
I mean, obviously, if you play him on the wing, you can play both De Bruyne and Grealish together.
Yeah,
you know.
I just think Man City have overpaid for him. Like,
see, a lot of people saying that, but
good player.
I agree, but I also don't agree because I think you're right in terms of the fact that they don't need a player like that. Like they didn't need Grealish. They need Kane, but they didn't need Grealish.
Yeah.
So paying 100 million for a player that you don't need is crazy. But at the same time, the actual fee itself is like a result of the fact that that the inflation of like the prices of players these days and the English tax. Neymar going all the way back to Neymar.
Well, if you think about it, like literally before that, literally like the most expensive transfer was Paul Pogba.
Yeah,
and that was like 100. That was like barely 100. That was like 90 million. Then PSG go, like, we'll splash out 200 million on Neymar. Neymar's not worth 200 million.
Probably not. No.
And
no.
It's kind of like any player's worth whatever price you're willing to pay for them.
That's the way. That's the way it is, isn't it? That's the problem.
Which is the same as anything. Like the house I want to buy, should it cost £400,000? No, it should be free for me. I'm a nice guy. But unfortunately, no. I got to save 450,000 goddamn pounds. But I think another thing, like with City, and I thought this with Mahrez at the time, and I was like, they paid a lot to get him. He's a world-class player and he's incredible. It's one of my favorite, probably my favorite player in the league. But at times it's almost like City will buy players just so, hey, if we have them, you can't play them. It's almost like collecting all like the shinies. So you're like, oh, I'm just hoarding away some shiny Charizards for when I kind of want to look at them in the dark or something. But Grealish he's not going to be a regular starter regardless of the price tag. Like if he was, he'd probably have to go up on the left where Sterling already plays, and Raheem Sterling is basically undroppable at club or for the most part at club level, and definitely internationally, because he can always go on a have a purple patch and just start.
Yeah, I suppose.
Scoring in droves. But I think Mahrez's place might be more of a threat because he'll never take Rodri out either. Like,
but Mahrez plays on the right though. Mahrez plays on the right, doesn't he?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that he'd probably keep Sterling on and move Grealish over to the right because you can't move De Bruyne out. Yeah. Because if you look at how direct Grealish and Mahrez are when it comes to attacking players, I think they're more similar in that mold. Because 100%. Because the other thing is,
I agree.
Sterling is unable to pass the ball at the right time. Like it's not. He's good. He's a great dribbler. He's good at other stuff, and he's strong for his height. But he can't pass to save his goddamn life. Grealish actually will. Like this is the difference. Mahrez actually will. So you're like, if you're gonna be having them play on both sides, Mahrez and Thing are gonna pass to each other. Jesus isn't all that, and they do need a striker.
Yeah.
So I feel like it would have to be on the right side that he came in.
Yeah.
Took over Mahrez's slot.
I felt like they spent that 100 million plus on the wrong position because, like you said, they need a striker. They need a striker.
Yeah, definitely.
Gabriel should have gone all out for him.
Gabriel Jesus had that decent 6-month spell when he first came to City, and since then he's done literally nothing.
Literally.
And like they were stupid enough to let Sergio Aguero go just because Pep Guardiola didn't really like him. Like it's just
like the Aguero thing is a shame because he's such a great player, but he's not reliable enough.
Injured a lot though.
His injuries are getting to the point now where you're like, okay, he's still good when he plays, but sometimes the best ability is availability. Like if you can't be relied on week in week out to be on the team sheet, then after a while, you're kind of going to have to make a contingency plan. Like you can't rely on that player forever. So, I mean, this whole like Kane saga is. Kind of throwing a spanner in the works because it feels like he wanted to go and they definitely thought they were going to get him because there's also rumors that Tottenham are going after Lautaro Martinez from Inter.
I saw that.
And then it's like when that looked like it was going through, Kane was in like, or City were pulling out and they didn't want a striker. He was kind of like, I'm in no man's land. I kind of made my power move by not turning up, but it turns out that's a dick move. And, everybody sort of realized it.
Well, apparently he came out and said that he didn't refuse to go to training though, didn't he? He came out and said that, Kane himself.
Yeah. I mean, I was saying this the other day. I think I was like, the dude should at least turn up to training because at the very least they're still paying you to train. Like once it comes to a game, sure, you leverage your position and hold out and let them not pay you or fine you whatever until you want to go. If you really want to go, I'm cool with that. Workers should have rights, but at the same time, training isn't asking that much of you. They're not trying to throw you out there to the wolves. They're just trying to keep you in shape, and it helps you stay with your teammates.
Yeah.
Like, you not being at training robs them of a good training session because
Yeah,
one of their
absolutely.
best players is not there to lead and train them. Like, the whole point of being a captain is you don't let people
Yeah,
down.
captain. Your captain's missing, sort of thing. It's like, what do we do now?
Like, plenty of great players have gone through that situation where they want to move on to bigger and better things. Don't drop the team though. Like, I don't want a guy moving to my team.
Yeah.
Who abandoned his teammates at the last one.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what if he wants to do the same here? Like,
yeah, but a lot of people have forced moves though, haven't they? Aubameyang to Arsenal, Dembele to Barcelona. A lot of players have forced moves. I think Bale did, I think they've said, was I listening to expressions saying that Bale had to do it to get to Real Madrid and Modric?
I don't remember about Bale having to force me. Modric tried to force a move to Chelsea before he went to Real Madrid the season before.
Yeah.
Basically, he had like these massive showdown talks at White Hart Lane with Daniel Levy. And Daniel Levy basically went, "Yeah, you're not going."
But this is what I'm saying. Daniel Levy is so stubborn.
Yeah.
So I feel like
he's
it is hard to have a. Yeah, he is technically
Kane shouldn't have signed that contract. Like that's the thing. Like we always harp on about owners being like Scrooges and stuff. But at the same time, it's like if you sign a contract, at the very least, honor the contract. And if you don't want to honor the contract, ask the team that wants to buy you, pay him out.
Yeah.
Like, why is he supposed to just give up all that revenue because Harold Kane wants to go? It's like, you can go. Just give me my money. 150 million. That's his price, right? So it's like,
yeah. It's like even because apparently like Tottenham was struggling during the pandemic, and they had to take out a loan from the Bank of England. So like, if they really are struggling, then as much as it's going to hurt them to lose like their main guy, surely for like better investment and maybe getting some more world class players in, possibly it would be better to take the £150 million, reinvest it in the squad, and maybe fix some problem positions for a relatively nowadays relatively cheap fee.
Yeah, if I was Levy, I would take 150 mil.
Absolutely.
Like what's that second highest fee ever?
Yeah. Like second or third.
Well, it'd definitely be the highest in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And then outside
Neymar's
that, you're talking about Neymar and Mbappe.
Mbappe. Oh yeah, I guess with Mbappe and even Dembele, there was like a bunch of add-ons.
Dembele was 130, so I think it'll be under anyway.
Yeah, I think Mbappe was 166 minutes. I think he went on loan, didn't he, to PSG? Then they bought him out like the year after because they couldn't actually afford to buy him outright and coincide with financial fair play, which they constantly break all the time. So it's just really weird, just a really weird thing to do.
It doesn't matter, it's like
they got to do it sneakily though. That was too obvious.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hurry this along a bit because obviously. We've been talking for a little while, but obviously we got the Premier League predictions to do. Actually, just before we move on, the other big six, I mean, we could make a whole show talking about Arsenal and Tottenham because they are struggling at the moment.
Save that for another day.
We can save that for another episode. But their business. What would you rate their business if you had to sum it up shortly? Tottenham and Arsenal.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
In a bad way or a good way?
I know Arsenal's one's interesting because they've spent £50 million on a mid-table defender, hoping that he's going to save their bums and fortify their back line. He won't because he's joined Arsenal, and they're that midfielder from Anderlecht, Lokonga. Don't know anything about. I can't register an opinion because I don't actually know anything about him.
Yeah, I don't know. And they also signed a backup left back called Tavares. I don't know anything about him either. But I mean, I think their business isn't bad business. It's just for me, it's a bit weird that they didn't address the most important part, like the most glaring hole in their team, which is the central attacking midfielder. But we've still got weeks left to go, so we'll see if they actually address that.
Well, they want Maddison, didn't they?
They want Maddison. They want Odegaard. Maddison's a lot of money, so we'll see. I don't think Arsenal will be willing to pay it because they want to offer players and money, and Leicester aren't interested in players.
Like Maddison is at Leicester, who are FA Cup champions. They've won the Community Shield.
Yeah, and they finished above Arsenal two seasons in a row. So for me, it's a weird one anyway. It's a
massive step down. The reason you want to go is because like Arsenal's
the
history.
name
Arsenal's history,
and London and everything. Yeah,
and also Odegaard's at Real Madrid.
and money. They might be able to pay more money as well. Obviously,
They
he might be a bigger player at Arsenal because obviously at Leicester there's more bigger players. So there's a bit of a pull with all those type of things. But I don't know if that would be for me anyway worth making that move. But for Maddison, from what I understand, he's open to the move definitely. So it's just whether or not they pay the money.
But fam, Arsenal's still paying off Pepe.
Yeah. But they will be for the next 4 or 5 years. No, well, there was a 4 or 5 years they wanted to pay it over, so they've probably got over 2 left.
2 million over 5 years, and
2 or 3 years left.
He's been there 3 years now, so they're still paying him off, and he's done nothing really to show for it.
I think he had a decent season last season, so I think he's starting to get. But the problem is Arsenal are struggling, so he doesn't look. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But it's like I said, that's a conversation for another
podcast. It's the episode where we basically call out AFTV.
You can do that. You can do that on your. Let that be known that that's your own opinions.
Cool. Bring it on, DT. Bring it on, mate.
But
Pepe was like 70 odd mil, right?
Who is?
Yeah, about that.
He
Yeah,
was about 70 odd mil. God.
Yeah, and Tottenham. Tottenham just signed Romero, haven't they, from Atalanta?
Yes, Christian Romero. Absolutely.
Any decent? Because I don't really watch. I don't watch the Italian league often.
Top shelf defender. Yeah, so superimposing, really strong, great feet. He's kind of Atlanta is like, I don't know if you ever watched them play, but
a little bit.
I kind of like Leeds on steroids. They don't defend. Like there is no synonym. If you guarantee you go to Atlanta's like stadium, find a dictionary, try and find the word defend in there. It'll just be taken out, like edited. They only know one way to play, which is to rack up goals. They'd rather win 7-6 than 3-0. But they're incredible at it. Like they have who was that? The Italy's guy, left back.
Oh, was that Spinazzola?
Spinazzola. I think he was at Roma for a bit, but like he's exactly their kind of players that they have.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find who else they have.
It seems to be going well for Atlanta because from what I can tell, like they finished like Serie A, third in Serie A, like last 3 years. And now they're like consistently in the Champions League, so they're obviously doing something right. And I think it's they're like getting up there. And from what I've watched in the Champions League, they are a bit of a dark horse.
Yeah, no, they're great. Like they're so good. I'm trying to find. They got Hans Hatterbo who plays for the Dutch.
Oh yes, yeah.
And they've got Joachim Mæhle who plays for Denmark. Like a lot of their players are great.
Mæhle.
Yeah, like great tournaments, and then you look at them, they're all on the same team. So they're sick. And Romero's great. I think he's only about like 26 or something.
Something like that. He's not old. I thought he was quite old, but he's relatively young.
23, so he's even younger.
Oh wow! So I think that's the top. Yeah, because like Tottenham have got rid of Alderweireld now, so that's kind of something they need to kind of get sorted because I can't really tell their best centre backs really.
I mean, it's crazy to think that his release clause was 16 million. Oh, no, that was the option for Juventus to. That's crazy. Wow. Like, and that's what I'm saying is, like, we were saying earlier, if you sell Kane for 150 mil, you can make a great squad with that amount of money. Like, the reason we're seeing a lot of these players go for stupid amounts, funnily enough, isn't even because the sort of wage budget has gone up. It's just because revenues have shot up so much with coverage and how they've licensed it between BT and whatever else, and it's gone, like stratospheric. They're still spending the same percentage of what they had. It's just 10% now of your budget coffers are 150 mil as opposed to 60 mil. In the early noughties and stuff, it's just gone through the roof. So I mean, you get a defender like Christian Romero 15 million. That's ridiculous.
Well, I said, like if they sell Harry Kane, they're looking at Lautaro Martinez for 60 million. They've still got like 70
and Martinez is great. I think it's always tougher when you've got players who are definitively the best at a particular skill in the world, and Harry Kane is the best hold-up striker on the planet.
I think he's one of the best goal scorers on the planet as well.
Yeah, But I mean,
definitely.
I say his hold up, his link up play as well, especially is unreal. Like you can't drill that into a striker. They can either do it or they can't. He's one of the few that can do it at that level. I mean, how many times you see him just get the ball? He doesn't even move. He just turns around, faces a goal, and lets everybody run up from Tottenham. Because you know if you run at him, he's going to get past you anyway.
Yeah.
And he can pass it. And if he wants, if you give him a bit more space, because you think, kind of need to watch out for Son on the left, he'll just shoot. And that'll probably go in too. Like, he's absolutely lethal with the ball at his feet. So
legit.
That's why it's driving the price up so much.
Because he can do it because like he's added assist to his game with Spurs now, but like, and so like he's kind of like a team player with Spurs, but with England he's the main man, so he can play both roles. He could be the one everyone looks to, but also with Spurs he's the team player. And I think
I was really impressed with him at Spurs last season under Jose, because it's like, you know, I never really I never thought he had that in him to be able to be such a, you know, involved in all aspects of the game. You know, he's getting the assists.
Like
I see him on the line, flipping, clearing the ball from the line on the goal. I'm like, geez, do you know what I mean? You know, he really showed how like versatile he is as a player last season.
Yeah, so whoever gets him, they've got a good package deal, because I think he's one of the best goal scorers on the planet right now. He's up there with like Lewandowski and Haaland.
Lewandowski, I was thinking that.
Haaland's just a monster, and I just can't even just begin to describe that kid.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
He scored a hat-trick on the weekend.
He scores hat-tricks
in the first game of the season.
He's Norwegian, right?
Yeah.
He's Norwegian, yeah.
Because Ødegaard and Jens Petter Hauge, like, Norway's team is low-key pretty stacked full of, like, wonder kids.
They're getting there. They'll be trouble.
You look at their team, they got some great players, like, scattered around, world-class players, and it's just... They're set for the future.
I'm going to move on to Premier League predictions. I know we didn't talk much about Liverpool, but you know they've only got Konate that's come in, and I guess, you know, we can discuss.
Haven't really needed to buy anyone or anything.
They
lost out
really
Hendo
strong
and
anyway.
Van Dijk. Like the fact that Van Dijk is back, I think they finished top 2. I instantly.
I don't think it's I don't think it's as set as that, to be honest. You know, top 2, but I think definitely top 4. Definitely top 4. I don't think last season you fell out of it.
Premier League predictions, right? I'm going bold. I'm going
all right. So here we go. So what are you guys saying? You know, I'll go to you firstly, since you mentioned, you know, top 2. I need your Premier League top 4 for the end of the next season. How do you think it's going to finish?
And in the order, you want them
in the order? In the order.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm going to go Liverpool 1.
Of course you are.
I respect that.
City 2nd.
Oh, okay.
United.
Really?
And Chelsea.
Oh, thank God for that.
And
I was gonna have words, man. I was like, how can you not?
You know, and at the same time, if you ask me who's going to have the most cup success, I'd probably tip Chelsea again. So, I feel like this isn't going to be their year in the league.
In terms of league, but you think they're going to win a lot of cups?
I think they'll do well in all the cups. Well, their Champions League defense, at least the quarters. Obviously, depending on the group draw.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're literally one of the best teams. I mean, they're literally the best team in Europe. So,
at the moment, yeah, definitely.
Damn right, yeah.
All right, then. Jake, what are you saying? What's your top 4?
Okay, so I put City to win the league. I just think they're just far too strong still. I think we're still trying to catch up.
Even with Lukaku and Koundé coming in, let's say you get both of those players, even with those two coming in, because I think you've signed Lukaku already, but I do think you'll get Koundé as well.
We'll see. This might be subject to change. I'll put United as second as well.
Interesting.
I think the Sancho signing is crucial. I think the Varane signing was a coup. It's in fact you got him for less than Ben White, even though
madness.
He's 28, but he's a World Cup winner. He has won the Champions League 4 or 5 times. He has won the Spanish League twice, countless cups. He's a very decorated player. Yes, I said the World Cup. It's the first thing I said.
Oh, sorry. I didn't.
So he's a World Cup winner. He's a World Cup winner.
I just want you to say it again.
And and I just think, like I said, with Cavani still firing at his age, he's basically like your Giroud, pretty much. I think the fact that your attack is scary, with the fact you've got Jadon Sancho one side, you can have either Mason Greenwood, Martial, Rashford on the other side, or even just interchange them however you feel like it. Hell, why not even stick Bruno Fernandes on the wing? But if Bruno Fernandes just sitting behind that attacking four, that's dangerous and that's deadly and that's going to cause them problems. And I think the signing of Varane has solidified your defense a lot. But again, I could be wrong.
I mean,
well, this is all on paper, but yeah.
I put Liverpool's
to Ben White. I mean, you guys need to check yourself and put some respect on that name.
I think Ben White's a good player. I even think that's
shares the same template as Wes Brown. You can disrespect him. Literally, Ben White, Wes Brown, Varane.
I say that.
Too many letters.
I genuinely believe that Ben White's a good signing for them. I think
he's a good signing.
It's a lot of money.
But
it's a lot of money, but I think it's good signing. But it wouldn't have been the first signing I made. It would have been for me. It would have been the cam for them.
Yeah,
but it like him and Gabriel. When Gabriel's fit, him and Gabriel together could make a really good partnership. Like genuinely.
Yeah. I say like disrespect to Ben White. He's in my fantasy Premier League team.
There you go.
It's because he was cheap and I needed him. And I put Liverpool. I put Liverpool's third.
Okay.
I think like we think that they need to buy players, but in the reality is half their squad just come back from injury.
Yeah, that's true.
You think they're filling the ground? They're not. Literally, they're
banking on.
Like their squad.
That's what he's hoping. He's
pretty much even if you think about Trent, even if we're talking purely fantasy perspective, would you have thought he scored 160 points last year?
Yeah.
No. The dude was the second highest scoring defender, right? And that's without the talisman that is Van Dijk next to him. And he was quite honestly shit for the first half of the season. And he still got 160 points now scored everybody.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that the best defender, and that he is the best defender in the world when he's healthy, next to him with Hendo back up, they are going to be firing on all cylinders. Like, this is a blip. This is a blip. Salah did his best. Mane fell off a little bit because obviously they had less support on the wings and stuff. But Liverpool's Liverpool, man. Like, it kind of transcends a club, especially with Klopp's system, because his players know his system better than any other team system. Any of the team's players know their managers. Tuchel is getting there. Zidane has fallen off that. Other teams have new managers. Ollie's building it up, and he's doing really well. But nobody can tell me that any other team is better at playing their system than Liverpool.
Oh no,
it's just it's an off season, and they still. Where do they finish?
Third.
Liverpool.
Yeah, they finished third. Yeah,
behind you guys, right? It was City, United, and then
City, United, Liverpool, Chelsea.
We somehow lost Aston Villa on the last day, and we had to get Tottenham to help us out. I
think I'm not writing them off.
I put Chelsea as fourth because I'm being a bit modest and being
modest.
But I think just Champions League qualification suits me for now.
Yeah.
Once we get a bit more established, maybe if Thomas Tuchel gets a bit more success, then we stick with him a bit longer and he can get his players in, and maybe we can start challenging again up there again. But yeah, that's my top four.
Okay. Cool. Okay. And I'll tell you. So my top four, I'm gonna go for. I do genuinely believe that Chelsea is one to watch out for this year, especially with Lukaku and Koundé. I do genuinely believe that, but I'm gonna go. It's always hard to look past City. It's always hard to look past City.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm gonna go City first. I'm gonna go United second. I genuinely believe it could be either way round, but United second, Chelsea third. I think that could be either way round. But I'm gonna back my team. United second, Chelsea third, Liverpool fourth. Only because I know that you've got players that have come back, but for me, I think it might take a little bit of time before you start gelling again. You never know. You might hit the ground running, but Van Dijk's been out for a long time, and so has a lot of the other players. I just saw Robertson got another injury. Got an injury just the other day. Robertson got an injury in a pre-season. So, hopefully. Well, I mean, I say hopefully. I don't really care because I'm a United fan, but for a Liverpool fan's point of view, hopefully you don't get more injuries as the season goes on. But but
I think that's
you just
definitely
don't
going to
know.
be the issue because Liverpool's depth is good, but it's
It
very
could be
very
better
quickly
compared to the
very
others.
quickly doesn't look like the A team wants because their pieces in there are so significant.
Yeah.
There's nobody that's kind of like their backup is good enough to replace them for more than a few games at a time. You know, not everybody can be City with their billion-euro
Exactly,
bench.
with their like 2 squads, basically 2 first teams, and Chelsea aren't far off that either.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I think it depends. Like with the whole COVID thing as well. I think obviously that really helped City with COVID, like in the excessive, even more so than normal rotations from Pep.
True.
You know, to prevent any breaks or breakouts or whatever else. So
Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to play as much of an impact this year as it did last year. Because you'd think with everybody being vaccinated and there hopefully being fewer hiccups and then no more, you know, back into lockdowns and stuff. I wonder if that will have a
we'll have to
difference.
see.
It might do.
We'll have to see.
We'll see. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask next about 5th and 6th. So you know the Europa League spots. Who do we reckon is going to get 5th and 6th?
I will put. Do I put Tottenham 5th or 6th?
Well, I'll tell you now. I'm going to say that I think Leicester once again will get 5th.
Yeah,
I think
I've got Leicester as 5th.
Just missed out for. They always seem to miss out. You know.
Yeah.
Just about. But they've made some really good signings.
Yeah.
I like Patson Daka. I think you know we'll see. I don't know how much game time he'll get, but Patson Daka for me, from what I understand, you know, was already causing headlines last couple of seasons. You know, someone that I've heard of a lot in the transfer window. So we'll see what he's like actually in the Premier League. But I think he's a good signing.
Yeah.
And they've also got that. Was it Samari?
And
midfielder.
Bakary, so Bubakari Samari, that's it.
That's the one. Yeah. So and he's also another player who, before even they signed for Leicester, is a player that I've heard is very good and was always in talks in the transfer window with loads of teams that, you know, loads of good teams looking at him. So
he was in talks with us for it.
Was he? Yeah, that doesn't surprise. I mean, I know that. Well, because we wanted a midfielder, I know that a lot of United fans were saying, you know, we should look at someone like him. But obviously, ultimately, Leicester got him.
I'm genuinely surprised you've not gone for Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, but I don't know about that league's rivalry. If that would make it difficult, I don't know.
I mean, probably, but still, like Man United or Leeds, I know where I'd go.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, of course. But yeah. What about you guys? Fifth or sixth? What are you guys saying?
I put Leicester as 5th, like you, because I think they're pretty much established in the top 6 now.
Yeah,
they're a top 6 team. They're a top 6 team. It's simple as that. They've won the Premier League. For me, they're in the top 6 now.
They are for me as well. I think they genuinely are a top 6 team now.
Yeah, I did put Spurs as 6th, but I'm thinking if David Moyes does a madness again, they could nick it. They could nick it. But I'm going to stick with Spurs because I think they're going to keep Harry Kane, and I think he's going to be a bit upset about it for a couple of weeks, about a month or so, and then he's going to start firing again.
Start scoring, yeah.
And also with Nuno coming in and what he done with Wolves.
True. His first few seasons with Wolves, first 3 seasons probably was really good.
It's possible, but again, like he could completely flop like he did last season with Wolves, and West Ham Moisey and West Ham. Moisey's hammers.
West Ham don't have Jesse though. They don't have Jesse.
Good old Moise. But yeah, it's either Spurs or West Ham. But I'm gonna have Spurs as 6th.
Okay. You know what? I'm actually gonna go for Aston Villa as 6th. So I'm gonna go Leicester and Aston Villa, which means both Tottenham and Arsenal are out of my top 6.
That is so far from left field. I did not see that coming.
I know, and they've just lost Jack
Aston
Grealish.
Villa,
and they just lost Jack Grealish.
And they've not Jack Grealish.
But look at the signings that they brought in though as well. You got to look at Leon Bailey, Buendia, Danny Ings.
Yeah.
Ashley Young, if you care about Ashley.
Yeah. No, man, he's still about.
He's a Premier League winner. And he's won the Serie A just literally the season gone.
Danny Ings is a good one. He's a proven Premier League scorer. So that's a very good signing.
The only problem with Danny Ings is like he gets injured as well,
and he's getting old.
Yeah. But that's who I'm putting for 6th. Z, what are you saying? 5th and 6th.
Yeah, I think I'd probably put West Ham and Everton, which I'm going to go with.
Interesting.
Ooh,
West Ham
Everton.
So, but no Tottenham or Arsenal for you either.
Or Leicester.
No, because I was actually looking at the.
Interesting.
Yeah, no Leicester either. I mean,
okay.
That's surprising.
Yeah, It feels weird, like iffy down there, because if you look, I was actually looking at the North London derby stats, and Arsenal finished above Tottenham for nearly 20 years or something between like 95 and 2015ish. But if you look at from 2016 onwards, Tottenham have finished above Arsenal every season, right? But every season where they finished has been like one place further back. So like there'll be second,
that's because
third,
Arsenal's been going further back as
exactly.
well.
So Tottenham are doing just enough to stay above how shit Arsenal have become. So if Arsenal keep getting shitter, I think right now they're outside the top 6 positions. I'm like, all right, next season they both won't be in. I'm just following the stats, guys. Like, I'm letting my North London Derby League performance 1892 to 2021 Wikipedia graph do the talking for me.
So don't even blame you if it doesn't happen. Blame the graph.
I'm gonna give Benitez, that guy. I've never really rated him as a manager, but it doesn't really matter what I think because he has results. But he's never just looked like a really assured football manager to me with his weird hand signals. But
he used to be a history teacher, I think. I read. This is his only career path in football. He wasn't a player.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Madness.
Yeah.
But then again, he's won the Champions League. And he's won the UEFA Cup. He's won the Europa League as well.
Like the results speak for themselves.
The trophy carrier.
He's just a weird player. He's like the Ashley Cole of managers for me, because I always rated Ashley Cole defensively, and thought he was phenomenal. Going forward, I actually never thought he was as assured. Like people would be like, "Oh, he's some like English Roberto Carlos." I'm like, man, the dude's decent to above average going forward. He's solid as fuck defensively, but people would be talking about like, "Oh, he's just absolute, wonderful player going forward, and he's just unbeatable." I was like, man, he's great. He's a great, world class overall player, but he's kind of like a much better Aaron Wan-Bissaka, basically. I kind of thought. But yeah, Benitez is that to me. I can never just really. Maybe it's because of Istanbul. Maybe it's because he won that final. I just hate his podgy face, but yeah, never just rated him too highly. But this is why I'm surprised, right? I feel like because of that, I always seem to be wrong about him. So surely he's going to lead Everton to a top 6 finish. And their squad is decent. Like their squad is good. Players like Luca Dean and Calvert-Lewin kind of fell off last year, but Richarlison has been on fire. Like all summer with the Olympics.
He was insane.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So if that form continues and that confidence, that's another thing actually. I feel like as I get older, when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, this player's got to be amazing because they're young and they're between like a perfect age, and this is when they're supposed to peak and all that sort of nonsense. And then you grow up and you realize, man, it's all about confidence. Like, you can't tell me on any given day that Berbatov wasn't the best player in the Premier League when he wanted to, like, when he really put in a performance. He may not have scored any goals, but he embarrassed your whole team. Like, you were at home crying to your mums and shit, and it's like, oh, but he didn't score. Who cares? The ball came in from 60 yards away, and he used his toe to touch it around me and another defender, and then tapped it in.
Mate, what a player!
Literally, the moment that pretty much sums up Dimitar Berbatov to me is that goal he scored for Monaco. Literally, the ball came in from from the right on the left. He took it down, just stood there, and just flicked it over the keeper, or from a tight angle, went in. He's like, and he just turned around, and he's like,
Cantona celebration,
yeah. Like, and what? So what?
This is what I do. What do you mean?
It's what I do, bruv. I'm Berbatov.
It's the thing. Like he used to be my favorite player to watch in the league, and then Mahrez has sort of taken over because I think it's just Berbatov had the best touch, and then Mahrez now has the best touch.
Absolute filth.
I mean, Sky Sports Premier League put on their YouTube channel. They put today was like the most frightening front three on in the Premier League, and it was Ronaldo, Tevez, and Rooney. But so it was clips showing that just the crazy goals that they scored. But to think, because Berbatov was in those clips as well, so to think United had Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez, and Berbatov all on the same team at one point. And they still had like Ryan Giggs and like Rio at the back. And oh, mate, please.
Man, I've had so many debates with people about just certain aspects of Berbatov's skill set. Like Berbatov has a better first touch than Cristiano Ronaldo, and anybody that disagrees is wrong. Like, I'm not saying he's a better overall player.
You're just saying he's got better first touch.
Like his first touch is like, that shit should be up there on Mount Olympus with Zeus and his homies, because Zidane, your Laudrups, your Iniestas, your Neymars, your Messis, Berbatov is in their league when it comes to that. So is Mahrez. Like, Mahrez will have games where he's invisible, but look at his first touch. That shit is faultless. It's a metronome. He'll never let you down with his first touch. His second touch will fuck it up. But the first will always be sublime. To lull you into that false sense of security. It's like, oh my god, this guy's amazing. What? Oh, okay, never mind. He just hit the back of his heel and went up for a throw in. All right, let's just wrap it up, guys. Let's just...
Yeah, so I'm just gonna we'll wrap it up. But the last couple of questions: who's gonna be relegated this season? If you just give us your predictions of teams that you think will be relegated. For me, I think Norwich will go straight back down, to be honest. I think Norwich, Newcastle...
They're rubber banding this shit. Like, up,
yo, they're like 100%. Definition of a yo-yo club. They just go up and down, up and down.
Legit. Yeah, I think they'll go down. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but it sounds like we all agree that Norwich is probably going to go down.
Yeah, I've got Norwich in my little book as going down.
Yeah, I'm seeing Norwich, Watford. I don't know about you guys. I'm seeing Watford going right back down as well.
I think maybe Newcastle after they lost Rafa as well. But
I've actually got Newcastle as well to go down.
There we go.
They struggled. They struggled at the end of last season. They were like on the edge of it. They were very
really
lucky to get out.
And then they've lost their manager as well. So
I've got Brentford as my last one.
Interesting. I think Brentford are a really good side. I think they'll do well. In the Premier League.
I'm not saying it. Like, I watched them a couple of times last season.
They're a good team.
They're not like Leeds were when they won as convincingly. I think Brentford were the better team in a worse pack.
Yes,
like a worse championship.
Yeah.
I mean, Leeds have proved it, especially with Bielsa. Like, he can, especially with the big dogs. Like,
he
scores. He hardly ever backs off, so he's always there for an upset. I feel like Southampton aren't going to be anywhere near as strong. Like,
I thought about that as well.
Like Ings, and I'm like, if you look at them. And like, as we've seen for the last 2 seasons, they are absolutely guaranteed an 8-0, 9-0 battering.
Yep,
so
9-0.
If it happens right at the start.
They always go downhill after that as well.
Yeah. They're like junkies, isn't it? They got like hit rock bottom, and they kind of realize, okay, we can actually draw these games. But if it happens, if they haven't got battered 9-0 by Christmas, they're going down. Because 9-0 is going to be the loss that sends them into the championship. And, fans will be like, please stop. They're already dead. It's like, no, go for the jugular. Go for the 7th.
We want 10.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe
right.
Email them, get your FIFA apologies out after 5. But I think Southampton, Watford and Norwich will be my 3 picks.
Fair. Okay. Well, Golden Boot winner. Does anyone have any ideas of who they think will be the Golden Boot winner? Obviously, last season it was Kane.
It was Vardy last season.
It
was Vardy last season, wasn't it?
No, Kane got the most goals and assists of the league.
I swear it was Jamie Vardy. Or was it this
season? Vardy was
the season before. I think.
Yeah,
definitely.
Right, yeah. I don't remember Jamie Vardy, but yeah, I put Harry Kane if he stays at Spurs.
With Mohamed Salah.
I've also got Salah down as well, but now I'm also going to throw. I'm going to throw Lukaku into my.
Oh, you're going to put Lukaku in? Jeez,
I've got to throw Big Rom in there. Big Rom in there.
That is fair. Definitely.
He left Chelsea a boy. He's now a big man. He went to United. He's like, nah. He went to United. He's like, nah, not feeling it. I'm gonna go to Man and come back to Chelsea.
You know what? He's not a United flop in my opinion.
He was disrespected far too much at United, but that's
probably in the last season. In the first season, definitely not. In the first season, he was really good with us, but the second season, we we definitely disrespected him a little bit, or at least Ollie didn't really favour him for a starter. But it's because we want to play a different style of football, which is fair. Okay, so you're going for Kane. No, you're going for Lukaku.
Yeah,
what are you saying, Z? Oh, you're saying Salah.
Yep.
Okay, I do think it'll be Kane as well. To be fair, I think it'll be Kane.
That's a good shout.
I mean,
so we got Salah, we got Kane,
Jack
and we got
Grealish.
Lukaku.
His first 30 goal campaign.
Oh nah, man, Edison
coming in hot.
No.
Edison.
Edison. Nah,
Edison,
more likely to be Bruno.
I'm gonna put money. Edison. 3
yeah, I mean, more likely to be
season.
Bruno in our team, or maybe Jadon Sancho. You never know.
Nah, man, no. Jadon Sancho top assists.
Yeah, interesting.
You heard it here first.
Interesting. Okay. Right. Player of the year. This is the last one. Player of the year. I think De Bruyne won last year, which is weird.
This is difficult because we've not seen any of them play.
No, I know.
I'm gonna have to say, based on progress, I'm gonna say my boy Mason Mount.
You think Mason Mount? No, we're talking about Premier League Player of the Year, though. We're talking about Premier League Player of the Year.
Yeah. Mason Mount.
I mean, usually the Player of the Year is part of the winning team, so that means Chelsea's going to win the league. Yeah.
If it happens,
I mean, it's not always the case, but
if it happens, it happens. I won't be complaining.
Z, what are you saying?
I'm actually going to go with the comeback king, Virgil van Dijk.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, fair.
This could either go really, really well for me, and I will look like fucking Nostradamus. Or 2 weeks in, he ruptures like an ACL, and I'm like, all right, whoa. I didn't mean Virgil van Dijk. I was saying I'm going to go fix my bike. My actual prediction was Hakeem Ziyech of Chelsea.
Hakeem Ziyech.
You know what?
Let's just cut to a future episode where Van Dijk doesn't win Player of the Year.
Welcome, Hakeem. Grab your reward. How kind of you.
I'm going to go for a controversial one, and I'm going to go Bruno Fernandes.
Yep,
yeah, I'm going to back my boy. I'm going to back my boy and go Bruno Fernandes. If United have a really good season and win some stuff, he's going to be like at the forefront of that. So he'll be, I reckon it'll be him.
So basically, we're just backing our favourite players in our teams.
Basically, which is basically what these things are.
Yeah.
Is this what these awards
it's good, though. Like everyone needs to be a homer for their own.
Oh yeah.
Their own team.
Oh, exactly.
Because you're not gonna hear me shilling for United. Absolutely not.
I'm not. I'm
rotten filth.
Like you are never going to see me cheer for Spurs or Arsenal. God.
No, yeah, no.
The very thought makes me sick.
Would you have Spurs or Arsenal players in your team? Fantasy.
That's
yeah, that don't matter.
Oh yeah.
I guess that's fine. I mean, I'm still never going to have Sterling just because his name's Raheem, and
great
there will
name.
never be
What
Raheem
a name
in my team.
What a name! What a great name! Look how good of a player he is as well. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up there.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's been a good sort of chat, good conversation. We'll have to see how the season goes. I'm excited to see how it goes. A lot of good business. A lot of interesting predictions from everyone, and
Game
I guess
one.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, match day 1, isn't it? Next on Saturday, so
exactly Friday.
Yeah,
match day 1.
Be...
Friday.
Oh yeah, Friday.
Arsenal versus Brentford.
Oh
God!
There we go.
AFTV is gonna be fire. Yeah, come at me, DT. Come at me, Ty.
Oh
Bring
my
it.
gosh,
you're
asking for
That's
trouble.
like going to a restaurant where the starters is the worst course. Like, all right, there you go. Bring out the mains. Give me that steak.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Brentford
are going to be great
chicken,
to watch.
pate, and olives, like in your little hummus.
Give me Spurs and City on Sunday. That's what I want.
Yeah, exactly. So, it should be a good week.
Yeah.
No, it should be a good week. I think. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how everyone gets on, and we'll have a chat. I don't know if we'll be able to do this every week, but maybe every other week is what I'm aiming for. At least every other week, trying to do that. So
that works.
But if we get any others in, then we get any others in.
We should get some more. Yeah.
Cool. I'll end it there.
Lovely.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Sweet. Catch you soon.
Yeah, see you guys.